In a previous video, I got a comment from Tyler, no, not the creator, saying it looked like I was being forced at gunpoint by my employer to say that I like working for them. Which is ridiculous because I really enjoy my job. No, but seriously, I do enjoy my job currently, but I do have an irrational fear of being stuck in a job that I don't like. And it's irrational because you're never truly stuck. It's like when your stepsister's stuck in the wash, and good companies like to keep their good employees within the company, even if it's in a different position, because they already invested in them. Now, even though this is an irrational fear, sort of, I'm still working on not having to be in that position in the future, and there's two major things I'm doing about it. Now, before I go into those two things, I have to tell you a quick story about a man that may have also had an irrational fear of being stuck in a job because he had many of them. They were all completely different. He started in construction, he delivered pizza. Maybe he listened to Dave Ramsey. He's been a teacher, a cop, and he was a doctor for some time. And so when I think of my irrational fear of being stuck in a job I hate, I remember that you're only one action away from completely changing your life. And for those of you wondering, that's this talented man that I was referring to, his name's Johnny. So now I can get into the two things I'm doing to make sure I don't ever find myself stuck in a job I don't like. So the first thing I'm doing, and really anyone can do, is taking care of the money I currently have. One of the only reasons that people would ever really have to stay in a job they don't like is because they need the money. This is seen a lot with people that make more than the average. Their lifestyle goes up and they need that higher paying job to keep it going, even if they don't like it. They need to pay off their expensive car, their expensive house, their fancy vacation, their expensive wife in some cases, and so on. Expensive husbands too. I'll start with that. I don't want to hear the canceling in the comments. And the more money being spent on stuff, the less that can be saved and invested. Now, there is a fine line between taking care of your money and being an annoying penny pincher, which I've crossed that line several times before, but you do want to have some money left over to save and invest. Otherwise, you can find yourself stuck in a job you hate because you need the money. Now, taking care of the money you have looks different depending on what stage of your personal finance journey you're on. Now, someone with debt and no emergency fund would take different steps than someone with, let's say, no debt and an emergency fund. Now, I've made a video on how I save $722 a week, which I'll link up here and in the description. Now, the second thing I'm doing is working on diversifying my income. Now, this one is new to me, and I'll tell you what, it's not going well, but I'm working on it. I also have an irrational fear. Maybe it's not that irrational, but I have a fear of being laid off. And this is because I started my engineering career in February of 2020. And just a few months after we started the pandemic, we started seeing massive layoffs across the country. I think the company I work for really handled it well, so props to them for that. But they don't need to hear that from me. It's not like they watch my videos. At least I hope not. Maybe another reason I have a fear of being laid off is because I say things I'm not supposed to. But anyway, I'm a big believer in having multiple sources of income, so you're not just relying on one. If you only have one and you lose it, you'll lose all of your income. But if you have, let's say, more than one and you lose one, then you still have the others. Even if you end up not needing it, it can still be used to speed up your retirement. Now, one thing I will say is that I personally would not have been able to work on diversifying my income without a budget, which I've made a step-by-step video on here. It has allowed me to take care of the money I have so that I can work on things that I believe in outside of my engineering job, without having to sell things that I don't believe in.